My precious child, I have seen the tears you shed in the silence of the night, when the shadows felt longer than the light, and the weight of your own heart seemed too heavy to carry. I have watched you walk through the valley of abandonment, feeling the sting of rejection from those you thought would stand by your side forever. But listen closely to my voice, for I am the one who knit you together in your mother's womb, and I have never once turned my gaze away from you. You feel as though you have lost something irreplaceable, as though a piece of your soul walked out the door when they did. You wonder why I allowed the silence to grow so loud, and why the person you loved chose a path that did not include you. But I tell you this with the authority of the Creator and the tenderness of a father. That space was not emptied to leave you hollow. It was emptied to be filled with me. The one who walked away did not see the gold I was refining within you. They saw the fire and were afraid of the heat, but they did not stay long enough to see the beauty of the vessel I am crafting. There is a profound shift happening in the spiritual realm right now, a turning of the tides that you cannot yet perceive with your physical eyes. Very soon, the one who walked away will pause in their tracks. They will look back toward the life they left behind, and they will see a radiance emanating from you that they never noticed before. It will not be a light of your own making, but the glow of my favor resting upon your head. They will realize that in leaving you, they walked away from the very source of peace and wisdom that I had placed in their path. They will recognize the magnitude of what they lost, not because you have changed your outward appearance, but because your inner spirit has been touched by the divine. Do not let your heart be troubled by financial worries or the mountain of bills that seem to grow higher each day. I am the provider of the birds in the sky and the lilies in the field, and you are worth so much more than they. I am opening doors that no man can shut, and I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. The scarcity you feel is a temporary illusion, for my storehouses are overflowing with the abundance you need. I am touching the hearts of people you haven't even met yet to bring favor into your professional life. Your loneliness is also nearing its end, for I am bringing into your circle those who will value the depth of your soul and reflect my unconditional love back to you. You are being upgraded, my child. The season of being overlooked is over. The season of being the one who gives everything while receiving nothing is drawing to a close. I am balancing the scales. Those who laughed at your faith will soon ask you for your prayers. Those who thought you were weak will stand in awe of your strength. You have endured the pruning, and now it is time for the blooming. Every prayer you whispered in the dark has been collected in a golden bowl before my throne. Not one word has been wasted. Not one tear has fallen to the ground without me noticing. I am sending a miracle into your home this very hour, a miracle of clarity, a miracle of provision, and a miracle of profound emotional healing. Take a deep breath and let the anxiety that has been gripping your chest dissolve into my peace. I am your fortress and your shield. I am the God of second chances and third chances and infinite beginnings. The story does not end with you being left behind. It ends with you being led forward into a destiny so bright it will eclipse every shadow of your past. Believe in the impossible, for I am the God of the impossible. The one who walked away will eventually see the glory I have placed upon you, but by then, you will be so far along your path of blessing that the pain they caused will be nothing more than a distant memory, a footnote in a story of triumph. Rest now, my beloved, and know that I am working all things together for your good. Your restoration has already begun. As the morning light begins to filter through the curtains of your room, I want you to notice the change in the atmosphere. The heavy weight that used to settle on your shoulders the moment you opened your eyes is being lifted by my hand. You have spent years walking through a desert of rejection, wondering if your worth was tied to the presence of those who chose to leave. But I am telling you now, their departure was not a reflection of your value. It was a necessary clearing of the ground so that I could plant something eternal. Think back to the nights you sat at your small kitchen table, staring at the bills, wondering how the math would ever add up, or the moments you looked at the empty space beside you and felt a hollow ache that seemed to echo through the hallways of your soul. I was there in every sigh. I was there when you forced a smile for your children, while your own heart was breaking into 1,000 jagged pieces. I recorded every time you chose kindness over bitterness, even when you had every right to be angry. The one who walked away thought they were leaving behind something ordinary, but I am pulling back the veil so they can see the divine masterpiece I have been crafting in the dark. They looked at the outward appearance, the struggle, and the temporary weakness, but I looked at the heart that refused to stop loving. Soon, they will look back and see not the person they abandoned, but a beacon of light that they no longer have the capacity to reach. It is not out of spite that I distance you, but out of protection. I am building a hedge of fire around your peace. Your provision is no longer tied to their approval. I am opening doors in high places, phone calls from people you haven't spoken to in years, unexpected checks in the mail, and a sudden surge of creative energy that will turn your smallest ideas into overflowing harvests. I see you standing in the garden of your life, looking at the withered branches, but I am the God of the sap and the root. I am pouring the living water of my spirit into the very places where you felt most parched. Do you remember the specific words they used to diminish you? Those words are being erased from the heavenly record and replaced with my titles for you: redeemed, restored, and highly favored. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the victor of your story. The very person who thought you could not survive without them will watch from a distance as you thrive in ways they never imagined possible. They will see the glow of my presence on your face, a radiance that cannot be bought or manufactured. They will realize that, when they let go of your hand, they let go of the greatest blessing I had ever placed in their path. But your heart will be so full of my love that you will feel no need for vindication. You will look at your life and see that every empty space they left was filled by my glory. I am healing the phantom pains of that old betrayal. I am mending the microscopic tears in your confidence. You are being reclothed in a mantle of authority. Watch as the things that used to trigger your anxiety now move you to prayer. Watch as the silence that used to feel like loneliness becomes a sanctuary of communion with me. I am preparing a table for you in the presence of those who doubted you, not so they can be shamed, but so they can witness what happens when a soul trusts completely in the unseen. Your health is being renewed from the marrow outward. The fatigue that has been your constant companion is fleeing. I am giving you the strength of an eagle to rise above the storms that once threatened to drown you. We are walking together into a secret place of abundance where the storehouses are never empty. Every sacrifice you made in secret is about to be rewarded in the light of day. Stay close to me in this transition. Do not look back at the bridge that burned behind you. Look at the golden path I am laying beneath your feet. The one who walked away is already starting to feel the chill of the void you left behind, but you are basking in the warmth of my eternal sun. This is the hour of your vindication, but even more, it is the hour of your intimacy with the Father who never left. Your story is deepening, my child, moving from the chapters of sorrow into the epic of my grace. Observe the subtle shifts in your atmosphere, for I am recalibrating the very air you breathe. While they search for a warmth they can no longer find, you are becoming a furnace of my love. The one who walked away is beginning to notice that the colors in their world have faded into shades of gray, for they did not realize that it was the light of my spirit within you that illuminated their path. They mistook your kindness for a resource they could deplete, but now they find themselves at the bottom of a dry well, wondering where the living water went. Do not be troubled by the distant echoes of their regret. As they stand in the quiet of their own choosing, they are starting to hear the melody of the song I gave you, a song they once took for granted. But you, my beloved, are learning a new rhythm. I am teaching you to dance in the spaces that used to feel like minefields. Look at your hands. I am restoring the dexterity you thought you lost to the paralysis of grief. You will create again. You will build again. The projects you abandoned because your heart was too heavy to lift them are being breathed upon by my Ruach. I am calling forth the architect, the artist, and the visionary within you. Those nights you spent staring at the ceiling, wondering if you would ever feel whole, are being replaced by a sleep so sweet and deep that you will wake up wondering if it was all a dream. But it is not a dream. It is the reality of my kingdom manifesting in your flesh. I am removing the widow's weeds of your spirit and dressing you in the garments of praise. You will walk into rooms you once felt unworthy of, and the doors will swing wide not because of your effort, but because of my favor that rests upon your brow like a crown. Even now, I am working in the details of your finances and your household. The leaks that drained your peace are being sealed. I am bringing a holy order to the chaos that betrayal left in its wake. Think of the garden you stopped tending. I am sending the early and the latter rain to make it bloom with a fragrance that will draw the brokenhearted to your side for healing. You are becoming a city on a hill. And as for the one who turned their back, let them see the glow from a distance. Let them realize that when they left you, they left the proximity of the miraculous. Their absence was the pruning required for this massive growth. I am widening your tent pegs because the harvest I am bringing through your life is too great for your current boundaries. You will find yourself speaking with a clarity that silences the accuser. The stutter of your insecurity is gone. I am placing my words in your mouth, and they will be like hammers that break rocks and like honey that heals wounds. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders, the place where you carried the weight of a relationship that was never yours to sustain. I have taken that burden. I have buried it in the depths of the sea. We are moving into a season where your joy will be so infectious that people will ask you the secret of your youth. You will tell them, it is the Father who restores the years the locusts have eaten. I am meticulously stitching back together the fragments of your heritage. Your ancestors watched you weep, but now they watch you rise as the answer to their prayers. There is a specific miracle I am maturing for you in the secret place, something you haven't even dared to whisper to me yet, but I have heard the silent longing of your soul. It is coming. It is already on the horizon, glowing with the promise of a new dawn. Do not rush this process of beautification. Allow me to linger in the corners of your heart, sweeping away the dust of old disappointments. I am making you a vessel of honor, fit for the Master's use, polished and shining. The void left by the one who walked away was never meant to stay empty. It was a space I reserved for myself, so that I could fill you until you overflow. You are no longer defined by who left you, but by who stayed. I am the constant, the Alpha and the Omega of your every breath. Rest in the knowledge that your vindication does not require your defense. I am your advocate. I am the judge who has already ruled in your favor. Watch as the circumstances of your life begin to align with the heavenly decree I have spoken over you. The bitterness that tried to take root is being replaced by a sweetness of spirit that will be your greatest weapon. You are indestructible in my grip. The fires you walked through did not burn you. They only consumed the ropes that bound you. Now, walk free. Walk tall. Walk with the quiet confidence of one who knows they are cherished beyond measure. We are just beginning to uncover the treasures I have hidden in this new terrain. Every step forward is a step into greater glory, and the shadow of the past is shrinking behind you, lost in the brilliance of my presence. Even now, as you sit in the quiet of your kitchen, the steam rising from your cup like a small, humble offering of peace, I am rearranging the very atoms of your existence. That chair across from you, once heavy with the weight of an absence that felt like a death sentence, is no longer a monument to what you lost. It has become a sacred space where my spirit breathes. You used to wake up with a tightness in your chest, a frantic searching for a reason to keep moving, but notice how the morning light now touches the floorboards with a gentleness you finally recognize as my touch. I am teaching you to inhabit your own life again, not as a ghost haunting the ruins of a broken promise, but as the rightful heir to a kingdom of joy. The one who walked away did not just leave a person, they walked away from a portal of grace. They saw the struggle, the raw edges of your becoming, and they mistook your refinement for weakness. They saw the soil being turned over and called it a wasteland, but I saw the seeds of a glory they were not yet equipped to handle. There is a specific kind of blindness that falls upon those who prioritize the temporary over the eternal, and in their haste to find something easier, they abandon the very wellspring that would have sustained them through the winters of the soul. Do not worry about the rumors or the silence that currently hangs between your past and your future. The time is coming when the scales will fall from their eyes. They will find themselves in a dry place, parched by the superficiality of the world they chose, and they will suddenly remember the fragrance of your spirit. They will remember the way you loved, a love that was not fueled by human effort, but by the reservoir I placed within you. They will look for that light in other faces and find only flickering shadows. They will seek that peace in other voices and hear only the hollow echoes of their own restlessness. This is not a punishment I have orchestrated out of malice, but a natural revelation of the truth. You are becoming so radiant in my presence that your absence will eventually feel like a total eclipse in their world. They will realize that they traded a diamond for a handful of salt, thinking it was just another common stone. But by the time they turn back to look, you will be so far along the path of my purpose that you will be unrecognizable to the version of you they thought they owned. You are being woven into a tapestry of such intricate beauty that only those with eyes of faith can truly perceive your worth. I am watching you handle the mundane tasks of your day, the way you fold the laundry with a heart that no longer beats in a panicked rhythm, the way you answer the phone without hoping it is them, the way you have begun to plant flowers in the garden of your mind, where only weeds of resentment once grew. These are the victories that the angels celebrate. Every time you choose to trust me instead of rehearsing the script of your betrayal, a new layer of strength is added to your spirit. I am calling you to a higher vantage point. Look down at the valley where you once wept, see how the fog is lifting. You can see the path now, can't you? It was never a dead end. It was a detour designed to keep you from a collapse you couldn't see coming. I allowed the separation because the version of you that is emerging could never have flourished in the shadow of someone who only celebrated your smaller self. I needed you in the sun. I needed you to realize that my approval is the only foundation that can never be shaken. Think of the project you recently started, the creative spark that felt like a flicker but is now becoming a steady flame. That is not just a hobby or a distraction. That is the fruit of your heart's liberation. As you create, as you work, as you build this new life, I am pouring my favor into the work of your hands. People will look at you and wonder where this new authority comes from. They will see a grace in your walk that wasn't there when you were trying to please a person who was never satisfied. You are becoming satisfied in me, and that satisfaction is a magnetic force. Even those who walked away will feel the pull of it from a distance. They will hear of your peace. They will catch glimpses of your joy through the grapevine of mutual connections. and a profound sense of "what have I done" will settle into their bones. But you will be too busy tasting the honey of my word and the milk of my provision to be bothered by the vindication. The sweetness of my presence will be so all-consuming that the desire for an apology or a return will be swallowed up in the realization that you have already received something far greater. I am deepening the wells of your empathy too. The pain you felt was a plow, breaking up the hard ground of your heart so that I could plant a compassion that will heal others. You are becoming a sanctuary for the broken, a living testimony that what was meant for evil, I have turned for good. Do not be afraid of the depth of this healing. It goes deep because the height I am taking you to is unprecedented. Every tear you shed was collected, not one was wasted. I am using them to water the very seeds of the breakthrough that is now sprouting. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? The air feels thinner, clearer. The heavy, humid air of rejection is being blown away by the fresh wind of my spirit. You are no longer waiting for your life to begin. It has already begun, and the beauty of it is that it no longer depends on the permission of a human being. I have given you the keys. I have opened the doors. Now, lean into me. Let me tell you more about who I have created you to be, for we have so much more to discover in this light. You will find yourself standing in the middle of a room you once thought would always feel empty, and suddenly, you will realize that the silence is no longer a haunting presence, but a holy one. While they are navigating the chaotic noise of the world they chose over you, a world that promises much but delivers little, you are learning the secret rhythms of my heartbeat. They walked away thinking they were leaving a flicker, unaware they were stepping out of the glow of a sun. In time, the cold of the shadows they have embraced will begin to seep into their spirit. They will look for your warmth in other faces, in other conversations, and in other achievements, but they will find only mirrors reflecting their own hollowness. They will remember the way you prayed for them when they had no words, the way you saw the gold in them when they only felt like lead, and the weight of that memory will become a heavy mantle. But I am lifting the weight off you. I am taking the fragments of your broken expectations and melting them down to create something unbreakable. Consider the way you used to check your phone with a trembling heart, hoping for a sign of their return. Now, look at that same hand. It is steady. It is held by me. You are beginning to find pleasure in the small, sacred details of the life I am building for you. The way the morning light hits the pages of your journal, the unexpected kindness of a neighbor, the strength in your own voice when you speak my promises over your day. These are not just coincidences. They are the architecture of your restoration. The one who left will one day hear your name, and it will no longer sound like a familiar comfort. It will sound like a missed opportunity, a sacred thing they failed to honor. They will see the fruit of your life, the peace that surpasses understanding, the influence that flows from your scars, the joy that isn't tethered to a person, and they will realize they didn't just walk away from you. They walked away from the best version of themselves that was being nurtured in your atmosphere. Yet, I do not want you to dwell on their regret. I am calling you to look higher. I am showing you that your capacity to love was never dependent on their capacity to receive it. Your love was a reflection of mine, and since it is mine, it never returns void. It is currently being redirected back into your own soul, healing the hidden places where you felt you were not enough. You were always enough, for I created you, and I do not make mistakes. I am bringing people into your life now who will not just take from your well, but will help you dig it deeper. You are entering a season of divine alignment where the relationships, the opportunities, and the breakthroughs will fit together like a masterfully crafted tapestry. The colors that seemed dull during your season of weeping are now becoming vibrant and bold. I am giving you a new language, a language of victory that doesn't need to shout to be heard. You are becoming a person of substance, someone whose very presence shifts the atmosphere of a room because you carry the weight of my glory. Think of the years you thought were lost to sorrow. I am the God who redeems time. I am the God who restores the years the locusts have eaten. I am packing more growth and favor into your next 12 months than you have experienced in the last 12 years. The one who walked away will remain a chapter in your book, but they will never be the ending. I am the author, and I am writing a climax to your story that will leave you breathless with gratitude. You will look back at this moment of transition and healing, and you will see it as the threshold of your greatest strength. Do not look back at the closed door with longing. There is a reason I locked it. Behind you is the dust of what was, before you is the garden of what is becoming. Every time you chose to trust me instead of sinking into bitterness, you were planting a seed. Now, watch as the first sprouts of your harvest begin to break through the soil. You are no longer defined by the rejection you endured. You are defined by the acceptance I have lavished upon you. You are my beloved, my chosen, my masterpiece in progress. The air is indeed clearer now, because you are breathing the atmosphere of heaven, where no one is ever truly lost who is found in me. Stay in this place of discovery. There are layers of your soul we haven't even touched yet, gifts I placed inside you at the foundations of the world that are only now beginning to stir. The world saw a person being left behind. I saw a champion being set apart. Keep your eyes on me, for the path ahead is illuminated by a light that no human hand can extinguish. As you move forward, do not be surprised when the very shadows that once terrified you begin to flee from the radiance you now carry. You are becoming a luminary, a beacon of my resilience. The one who walked away thought they were leaving a person who was incomplete, but they were actually walking away from the very source of grace that was sustaining them. There will come a day, a specific moment in the stillness of their own self-reflection, when they will reach for the light you once provided and find only the cold echo of their own choice. They will look back and see not the broken version of you they left in the hallway, but a towering testament to my restoration. They will realize that in discarding you, they discarded a treasure they had neither the eyes to see nor the heart to hold. But by then, you will be so deep in the oceans of my peace that the ripples of their regret will not even reach your shore. Look at your hands now. See how they no longer tremble when you wake up in the morning. That is the stillness of my spirit settling into your bones. Think of the quiet rituals you have reclaimed, the way you sip your coffee in the early light, the way you have begun to hum melodies that were dormant for a decade, the way you can now walk through the grocery store without checking your phone for a validation that never came. These are the small, sacred victories of a soul being untethered from an idol. I am teaching you that you are enough because I am within you. I am opening your eyes to the coincidences that are actually my fingerprints. Notice the new faces I am bringing across your path, people who see your worth without you having to perform, mentors who recognize the gold in your character, and friends who carry the same scent of heaven that you are beginning to exude. There is a creative fire I am stoking within you as well. Those ideas you scribbled in the margins of your journals during the darkest nights. They were not mere distractions. They were blueprints. I am giving you the courage to build again, not with the straw and mud of human approval, but with the cedar and stone of divine purpose. You will find that your work, your art, and your words now carry a weight of authority they lacked before, because they were forged in the furnace of your endurance. Do not worry about the lost time. I am the Lord of the Sabbath and the Master of the harvest. I can make one day of my favor accomplish more than a lifetime of human striving. Even now, I am working in the hidden places of your family line, healing wounds you didn't even know were inherited. I am rearranging the geography of your life to place you exactly where you need to be for the next outpouring. When you pass the places that used to trigger your pain, that park bench, that specific street corner, that song on the radio, you will notice a strange thing. The sting is gone. In its place is a profound sense of detachment, a realization that those things belong to a version of you that no longer exists. You have been molting, shedding the skin of your former self to reveal the wings I have been perfecting in the dark. The one who left will one day hear of your joy, not from a place of spite on your part, but as a natural consequence of your growth. They will see the fruit hanging heavy on your branches and remember the season when they thought they were cutting you down to the root. They did not realize that I am the gardener, and I only allow the pruning that leads to a greater abundance. Stay in this posture of openness. We are entering a phase of suddenlies. Suddenly, the debt will be cleared. Suddenly, the body will feel energized. Suddenly, the vision will become crystal clear. Do not try to rush the process. The incubation of greatness requires a specific temperature of trust. I am keeping you in the hollow of my hand while the world shifts around you. You are learning to hear my whisper above the roar of the wind. This is the intimacy for which you were created. The void that was left by their departure was never meant to be filled by another human. It was an invitation for me to occupy the throne of your heart. Now that I am there, you will find that you are unshakable. The world is looking for people who cannot be moved by the storms of rejection, and you are becoming one of them. Take a deep breath of this new air. It smells of rain on dry earth, of blossoms after a long winter, of a future that is no longer a threat but a promise. I am not done showing you how much I love you. There are depths of my kindness you haven't even glimpsed yet, and as you walk this path of light, every step will reveal a new facet of my glory reflected in you. You are not just surviving, you are being crowned with a dignity that no man can take away. Let the past be the past. Its lessons are integrated, its power is broken, and its ghosts are being laid to rest by the dawn of my presence in your every tomorrow. Even now, as you sit by the window with that blue porcelain cup, I am weaving the loose threads of your story into a tapestry of such vibrant color that those who thought they knew the pattern will be blinded by the change. They saw only the frayed edges and the knots of your struggle. They mistook your season of shedding for a permanent winter. But I was the one holding the shears, and I was the one nourishing the roots in the dark. The one who walked away did so because they could not handle the intensity of the light that was beginning to spark within you. They preferred the dim shadows of the familiar over the blinding dawn of your becoming. They looked at you and saw a project to be fixed or a burden to be carried, never realizing they were standing on holy ground. The day is coming, and it is closer than you think, when they will catch a glimpse of you from across a crowded room, or perhaps they will see your name mentioned in a context of honor they never expected. In that moment, a heavy realization will settle into their spirit like a stone dropped into a deep well. They will see the architecture of your soul has been rebuilt, not with the straw and wood of human effort, but with the gold and precious stones of my grace. They will see the way you carry yourself, no longer hunched under the weight of their disapproval, but standing tall with the quiet dignity of one who knows they are cherished by the King of Kings. They will realize that the very thing they rejected was the very thing they needed for their own healing. I am refining your senses now. You notice the way the light hits the floorboards in the hallway, and instead of feeling the emptiness of a quiet house, you feel the fullness of my companionship. The silence is no longer a vacuum. It is a canvas. I am teaching you that your worth was never a variable determined by their presence. It was a constant, written in my blood before the foundations of the world were laid. Every time you chose to trust me through the tears, You were adding layers of strength to your character that no amount of worldly success could provide. Watch as I begin to restore the years the locusts have eaten. Not by bringing back the ghosts of what was, but by birthing a newness that makes the old seem like a pale shadow. I am opening doors in the spirit that no man can shut. You will find yourself invited into spaces where your wisdom is sought, where your presence is valued, and where your scars are seen as medals of honor rather than marks of shame. And in those moments, the memory of the one who left will not bring a sting of pain, but a surge of gratitude. Gratitude that I loved you enough to let them go, so that you could find me. The one who walked away will see the fragrance of my favor upon your life. They will remember the you that was fragile, and they will be baffled by the you that is fierce. They will see the abundance in your hands and the peace in your eyes, and they will know that they walked away from a treasure they were not equipped to hold. Do not gloat in this, my child. Let it only be a confirmation of my faithfulness. Your heart is being softened even as it is being strengthened. I am pouring an oil of gladness over you that will make you slippery to the grasp of bitterness. Consider the flowers of the field. They do not toil, yet they are clothed in splendor. How much more am I clothing you? You are being dressed in a garment of praise that replaces the spirit of heaviness. Every word of life I speak over you is becoming a brick in the wall of your protection. You are no longer vulnerable to the whims of human emotion. You are anchored in the eternal. The suddenlies are manifesting even in the mundane. You will find that the tasks that once drained you now flow with an ease you cannot explain. Your mind, once a battlefield of anxious thoughts, is becoming a sanctuary of divine strategy. I see you in the early morning when the mist still clings to the grass and the world is holding its breath. In those moments of stillness, I am recalibrating your heart's frequency. You used to wake up with a knot of dread in your stomach, wondering if you were enough, wondering if today would be the day the floor fell out from under you. But now, look at the transition. You wake up and your first thought is of our union. This is the incubation of greatness I spoke of. You are in the holy dark, where the cells of your spirit are being restructured. Just as the caterpillar must endure the confinement of the cocoon to have its very DNA rewritten for flight, you have endured the confinement of this isolation. The one who walked away saw only the cocoon. They saw a creature that had stopped moving, a life that seemed stagnant and wrapped in gray threads. They judged by the appearance of the shell and decided it was no longer worth their time. They wanted the beauty of the wings without the patience for the process. But I am the master of the process. I knew that beneath that gray exterior, a transformation was taking place that would eventually defy the laws of the earth you once walked upon. When you finally emerge, and you are emerging even now, the wings I have given you will be iridescent, catching the light of my glory in ways that will leave onlookers in awe. They will realize, in the quiet hours of their own nights, that they abandoned a miracle in the making. They will see that the peace you now possess is not a facade, it is a fortress. They will try to find that same peace in other places, in other faces, in the noise of the world, but they will find only echoes. Because the peace you carry is the peace of my presence, and it cannot be manufactured or bought. It is the hidden manna given to those who overcome. You are overcoming the need for their validation. You are overcoming the addiction to their approval. I am placing a new song in your mouth, a melody that carries the frequency of heaven. When you speak, people will lean in, not because you are loud, but because your words carry weight. The weight of the wilderness, the weight of the silence, the weight of the gold that has been refined in the fire. Even your physical health is responding to this spiritual shift. The tension in your shoulders is melting away as you realize you no longer have to carry the world. The sleep that once eluded you is becoming sweet and restorative, for I give my beloved sleep. Do you feel the shift in the atmosphere of your home? The corners that once felt lonely are now filled with the fragrance of my grace. The kitchen, where you once stood in tears, is now a place of thanksgiving. I am hallowing the ordinary spaces of your life. Every mundane act, folding the laundry, tending the small herb garden on your windowsill, walking the path through the woods, is being infused with a sense of sacred purpose. You are moving from doing to being, and in your being I am glorified. The one who walked away will see the fruit of your life, and they will hunger for it. They will see the kindness you extend to others, the joy that bubbles up from a well they thought had run dry, and the unshakable stability of your soul. They will realize that in leaving you, they disconnected themselves from a source of life that I was flowing through. But do not fear that their regret will pull you back into the old cycle. You are being positioned on a higher plane. You will be able to look upon them with genuine compassion, without the pull of the old hooks. You will see them as I see them, lost and in need of the same grace that has rescued you. But you will no longer be their victim or their doormat. You are a pillar in my temple, and pillars do not move for the convenience of others. The dawn is breaking over the horizon of your new beginning, a soft amber light that touches the very edges of your weariness and turns it into gold. I want you to look at your hands, the hands that once trembled as they held the weight of a dying expectation. See how steady they have become. They are no longer reaching out in desperation for a shadow that refuses to stay. They are open, palms up, receiving the daily bread of my presence. Consider the small wooden table in your breakfast nook, the one where you used to sit in silence, hoping the phone would chime or the door would swing open. Now, that table is an altar. When you sip your morning coffee, smelling the steam and the hints of cinnamon you have begun to add just for yourself, you are not alone. I am there, seated across from you in the stillness, teaching you that my company is more than enough to fill the chairs that men have vacated. The one who walked away is beginning to feel the chill of the void they created. They thought they were escaping a burden, but they were actually walking away from a sanctuary. They are finding that the world is a cold place when you step out from the warmth of a heart that is aligned with mine. They see you from a distance, perhaps in a photograph shared by a mutual friend, or in the way you carry yourself through the market, and they notice the difference. There is a luminosity in your skin, a clarity in your eyes that was not there when you were constantly bending your light to fit their shadows. They will notice that the frantic energy that once sought their approval has been replaced by a quiet authority. They will wonder where you found this strength, and in that wondering, they will realize that the source was never them. It was always me, and you have finally found the tap. I am teaching you the art of the sacred no. You used to say yes out of a fear of abandonment, but now you say yes only when it aligns with the peace I have placed in your chest. You are learning that your time is a precious currency, and you will no longer spend it on those who only wish to devalue it. Remember the rosemary you planted on the windowsill. It is thriving now. It sent a reminder that even in the soil of your sorrow, things can grow that are both hardy and fragrant. Your life is becoming a garden that others will want to rest in, but you will be the gatekeeper, guided by my spirit. The one who left will attempt to knock on that gate, perhaps with a casual message or a sudden appearance, testing to see if the old hinges still creak with the same vulnerability. But they will find the gate is made of iron and grace now. You will speak to them with a kindness that does not require their reciprocation, and that, more than any anger, will pierce their heart. They will realize that they no longer have the power to disturb your waters. They will see the fruit of the Spirit hanging heavy on your branches, love, joy, peace, patience, and they will realize they are starving for what they once had in abundance and threw away. This is not for your vengeance, but for your vindication. I am showing you that your worth was never determined by their presence, but by my promise. As you walk through the woods today, listen to the crunch of the dried leaves beneath your feet. They represent the old versions of yourself that had to fall away so that the new buds could form. Do not mourn the leaves. They are nourishing the soil for the season to come. You are becoming a woman of deep roots, one who can withstand the droughts of human affection, because your taproot has reached the subterranean rivers of my eternal love. Feel the expansion in your lungs. You are breathing in the air of a higher altitude. The petty grievances and the what-ifs that used to haunt your midnight hours are being drowned out by the song of the stars, a song I wrote specifically for your ears. You are being reauthored. Every chapter of pain is being edited by my hand into a testament of resilience. When you look in the mirror, do not look for the wrinkles of worry. Look for the spark of the divine that I have kindled in your pupils. You are my masterpiece in progress, and the world, including the one who walked away, is beginning to see the brilliance of the colors I am using to paint your life. Stay in this place of rest. Do not rush the healing. The stillness is your superpower. In the quiet, I am knitting back together the fibers of your confidence that were torn by betrayal. I am reinforcing the walls of your heart, not with stone that shuts people out, but with a spiritual discernment that only lets the light in. You are safe. You are cherished. You are more than enough, simply because you are mine. Watch how the birds do not toil yet are fed. Watch how the lilies do not spin yet are clothed. You are worth more than many sparrows, and I am decorating your life with the ornaments of my favor. The person who left is beginning to realize that when they stepped out of your life, they stepped out of a stream of blessing that was flowing into their life through you. They are thirsty now, seeking to find in the desert of their own making what they once found freely at your side. But I have redirected the stream. It now flows into the parched places of your own soul, turning your wilderness into a pool of water. You are becoming a wellspring. Those who come to you now will not come to take, but to celebrate the overflow. Even in the mundane task of folding your laundry, notice the softness of the fabrics and the order of the piles. I am bringing order to your internal chaos. Every thread of your existence is being woven into a tapestry of victory. You are not a victim of a story that ended. You are the protagonist of a story that is just getting to the good part. The chapters where you were misunderstood and undervalued were merely the setup for a glorious reveal. I am your witness, and I am your reward. The one who walked away will carry the weight of their choice, but you will walk light, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Do you feel the weightlessness of forgiveness? It does not mean what they did was right. It means they no longer have the power to keep you anchored to the past. You are rising, and the view from here is breathtaking. Observe the way the sunlight dances upon the water in your glass, a simple prism of my affection, casting rainbows across the table where you once sat in sorrow. Those rainbows are a covenant, a promise that the storm has not only passed, but has left behind a spectrum of possibilities you were too dim to see before. The person who walked away is now standing in a different kind of light, the harsh, cold glare of self-reflection. They are beginning to notice the silence where your laughter used to provide a melodic soundtrack to their days. They thought they were escaping a burden, but they are discovering they actually abandoned their greatest support. In the quiet hours of their night, your name echoes not as a memory, but as a question they cannot answer. They seek your essence in the faces of strangers, trying to find that specific warmth, that something they couldn't name until it was gone. But I have placed a veil over your life, not to hide you, but to protect the sacred work I am doing within you. You are no longer accessible to those who only wish to graze upon your spirit without planting any seeds. Notice the way your morning coffee smells richer lately, the way the steam curls like an offering. I am in that aroma. I am teaching you to savor the solitary moments, for in this solitude, you are never truly alone. I am whispering secrets to your heart that you couldn't hear over the noise of their discontent. You are learning the language of your own worth, a dialect of grace and power. The one who left is finding that the world is much colder than they remembered. They are reaching for a coat that isn't there, realizing that you were the warmth that kept the frost of the world at bay. They are beginning to see that their success was often a byproduct of your prayers, and their peace was a reflection of your stability. Now that the mirror is gone, they are forced to look at their own fragmentation. Do not be moved by their dawning realization. Your task is not to wait for their return or their apology, but to continue the ascent. Every step you take away from the shadows of that rejection is a step toward the summit of your purpose. Consider the garden of your life. I am pruning the branches that bore no fruit, so that the sap of my spirit can flow into the vines that will produce a harvest of joy. The things you thought were essential were often just anchors. Now that the rope is cut, you are finding that you don't just walk, you soar. Look at your hands as you go about your day. They are the hands of a healer, a creator, a survivor. Whether they are typing words of encouragement, tending to a plant, or simply resting in your lap, they are being energized by my strength. The person who walked away will eventually see the fruit of your life from a distance, and the hunger they feel will be a hunger for the presence they once took for granted. They will realize that you were a gateway to the divine, and in closing that door, they locked themselves in a room of their own making. But you, my beloved, have been given the keys to the kingdom. You are walking through doors of favor that were previously jammed by the weight of that relationship. There is a specific peace I am settling upon your household. Even the air in your rooms feels lighter, more breathable. I am clearing out the stagnant energy of not enough and replacing it with the oxygen of more than enough. You are discovering that your needs are met with a precision that defies logic. A check in the mail, a timely word from a friend, a sudden clarity on a difficult decision. These are the breadcrumbs I am leaving to show you the path. The one who left is wandering in a forest of what-ifs, but you are walking on a highway of it is done. I am your advocate. I am the one who settles the accounts. You do not need to seek vindication, for I am your vindicator. The narrative of your life is being rewritten by the author of life himself. Where the previous chapters were stained with tears and marked by the red ink of heartbreak, the new pages are being inscribed with the gold leaf of my glory. You are becoming a sanctuary of peace. People will look at you and wonder where your glow comes from, not knowing that you have been refined in the furnace of transition. The one who walked away will hear whispers of your transformation. They will hear of your smile, your success, and your unshakable calm, and it will be a bitter pill to swallow. They will realize they left during the winter, never staying to see the spring they were meant to share. But this spring is yours alone to cultivate. It is a season of private blooming and public fruitfulness. I am deepening the roots of your character so that when the next season of abundance comes, you will not be toppled by the weight of the blessing. You are being built for longevity. Every moment you spent feeling discarded was actually a moment you were being polished. You are a jewel in my crown, and no one has the power to toss aside what I have claimed as my own. Breathe deeply now. Feel the expansion of your lungs and the steady beat of your heart. You are a living, breathing miracle. The story is not over. The plot has simply shifted to focus on the masterpiece I am making of you. The one who walked away is merely a footnote in a story that is ultimately about my love for you and your emergence into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Stay in this moment with me. There is so much more I want to show you about the beauty that lies ahead. Look now at the mundane spaces of your daily life, for they are the altars where your healing is being sanctified. Observe the way you prepare your table, There is a deliberate grace in your movements that was not there when you were constantly looking over your shoulder for a sign of approval that never came. The coffee smells richer now because you are finally present to taste it. I am in the quiet hum of your refrigerator, the soft rustle of the curtains, and the steady rhythm of your breathing as you drift into a sleep that is no longer haunted by the question of why. That person, the one who chose the exit over the endurance, is beginning to notice the silence where your prayers used to cover them. They took your intercession for granted, treating your devotion like a background melody they could mute at will. But now that the music has stopped in their world and started playing with a new, vibrant frequency in yours, they are feeling the sudden chill of the void. They will search for your likeness in every stranger they meet, trying to find that specific light you carried, only to realize that light was a gift I gave specifically to you, a gift they discarded because they could not handle its brightness. I am opening doors in your career that were previously stuck, not because you were not ready, but because I was waiting for you to be unburdened. You will find yourself in rooms where your voice carries a weight of wisdom that only comes from surviving a shipwreck. When you speak, people will lean in, sensing the depth of the ocean within you. And as your influence grows, word will reach the one who walked away. They will hear of your promotions, your creative outbursts, and the genuine joy that radiates from your social circles. It will be a confusing sorrow for them. They expected you to wither without their shadow, but instead, you have blossomed in the direct sunlight of my favor. They will realize, with a heavy heart, that they left a gold mine because they were tired of the digging. But the gold was never theirs to keep. It was always meant to be refined for my kingdom. Do not be tempted to look back with spite, for spite is just another way of staying connected to the pain. Instead, look back with a profound, quiet pity. They walked away from a masterpiece in progress. They had a front row seat to the unfolding of a miracle, and they chose to leave during the intermission. You are the miracle. I am stitching your heart back together with threads of resilience and purpose. Every time you choose to be kind to yourself, you are honoring the work I am doing. Every time you refuse to dwell on their memory, you are making room for the new people I am bringing into your life, people who will see your worth without you having to point it out, people who will celebrate the very things the other person tried to diminish. You are entering a season of suddenlies. Suddenly, the grief will be gone. Suddenly, the provision will overflow. Suddenly, you will realize that if they had not left, you would have stayed small to keep them comfortable. Their departure was the uncomfortable grace that forced your expansion. I am the God of the turnaround. I am taking the rejection that nearly broke you and turning it into the foundation of a life so beautiful it will feel like a dream. You are safe with me. Your future is not a mystery to me. It is a landscape I have already painted with colors you have not even named yet. Think of the garden we are planting together in the soil of your soul. For years, you allowed someone else to pull the flowers and leave the weeds, believing that their presence was the only thing keeping the garden alive. But look at the vibrant growth now that their heavy boots have stopped trampling the tender shoots of your confidence. I am planting lilies of peace where there was only the thorn of anxiety. I am watering the dry ground of your self-esteem with the morning dew of my grace. You are becoming a destination, a place of rest for others who are weary. This is the fruitfulness I promised. The one who walked away will eventually find themselves in a desert of their own making. They will reach for the comfort you once provided, only to find the air empty. They will remember the way you used to listen, the way you believed in them when no one else did, and the weight of that loss will settle into their bones like a winter frost. They will try to find a replacement for your essence, but I have made you unique. There is no duplicate of the soul I have forged in you. They will see your name mentioned with honor, and it will sting. They will see you laughing in a photograph, eyes crinkled with a genuine mirth they have not seen in years, and they will realize that they were not the source of your light. I was. They were merely a guest in your glow, and they forfeited their invitation. I am bringing you into a circle of true kin. I am preparing a table for you in the presence of those who would have once doubted you. You will find a new community, a tribe of heart-centered souls who recognize your frequency. These are the ones who will help you build the towers of your destiny. Together, you will create things that will outlast your years. Your hands, once empty and reaching, will be full of the tools of creation. Whether you are writing, building, teaching, or simply being, you will do it with an excellence that commands respect. And when the one who left hears of your success, they will have to confront the reality that you did not just survive their exit, you triumphed because of it. You are my beloved. I have engraved your name on the palms of my hands. No weapon formed against your identity shall prosper. No word spoken in malice to diminish you will stick to your spirit. I am washing you clean of the labels they tried to pin on you. Difficult, too much, not enough. Those were lies born of their own reflection. You are precisely who I need you to be for the assignment ahead. Breathe in the scent of the rain. It is the smell of the old being washed away to make room for the new. I am the architect of your restoration. I am rebuilding your walls with precious stones, sapphires for your foundations and rubies for your battlements. You are becoming a fortress of strength and a palace of beauty. Rest now in the certainty that you are seen. Every tear you cried in the dark was collected in my bottle. Every prayer you whispered into your pillow was heard in the highest heavens. The vindication you seek is already done. It is not found in their apology, but in your transformation. Your life is the testimony. Your peace is the proof. Your joy is the victory. Walk with your head held high, not in pride, but in the quiet dignity of one who is royalty in my kingdom. The world is waiting for the fullness of you to emerge. The one who walked away is already a shadow in the rearview mirror of your destiny. Look forward, for the horizon is golden, and I am walking right there beside you, leading you into a land of milk and honey where the harvest is great and the labor is love. You have come through the fire, and you do not even smell of smoke. You are pure, you are powerful, and you are mine.